Hey, boys and girls. I want to talk about our next math lesson, which is compare fractions. Now, the last few days we've done compare fractions with the same numerator, compare fractions with the same denominator. Now they're just going to throw them all together, same numerator and same denominator, and you use whatever strategy you like best in order to solve these problems. Okay. So we'll go through a few of them and then you're going to do the practice on your own. Let's unlock this problem. Luca and Anne are eating the same size small pizzas. One plate has 3/4 of Luca's cheese pizza. Another plate has 5/6 of Anne's mushroom pizza. Whose plate has more pizza? So we're trying to compare two fractions. 3/4, 5/6. Okay, so they give us this missing pieces strategy, which if you like it, that's great. I still always have my virtual fraction strips out or have your paper fraction strips out because they're a great tool. Hopefully now the size of these denominators is making more sense to you after some repeated practice, that the size of the denominator, the larger that number gets, the smaller the piece is going to be. So I can see that right here, and I have sixths in a circle and fourths. And I can see that this larger denominator of 6, these pieces are going to be smaller. And the denominator that is smaller has bigger pieces. So I still always like to revert this back to like a chocolate chip cookie or a pizza. And if I'm really hungry, I want to share with less people. I want a smaller denominator because if I get a fourth of this pizza, I get more pizza if I eat a fourth than if I get a sixth. Okay? So bigger the denominator, smaller the piece. Smaller the denominator, bigger the piece. All right. Let me get this. Okay, so we're going to do some shading. We're going to shade 3/4 of Luca's pizza. I'm going to go quick here, 3/4. And 5/6 of Anne's pizza. So 6/6 is a whole. So I'm going to shade all of this except for one piece. Whoa. Oh, sorry. I don't know what that was all about. Clicked. Okay. So just trying to go quickly. Okay. So here was 3/4. Let me make that. Okay. And there was 5/6. So I want to know, do I want to know the bigger one or the smaller one? I want to know whose plate has more pizza. The same size. Okay. I want to make sure what my question is. I want to make sure whose plate has more pizza. So shade 3/4 of Luca's pizza and 5/6 of Anne. Each fraction represents a whole that is missing one piece. Since 1/6 is, we have to decide if it's greater than or less than 1/4. Well, I can see from here that 1/6 is definitely less than 1/4. And I'm drawing the symbol wrong. Oops. 1/6 is less than 1/4. Okay. If a smaller piece is missing from Anne's pizza, she must have more pizza. So Anne's plate has more pizza. Now, you could probably tell I even started to get myself confused in that wording there. A plate with more pizza, what was left. I wasn't sure if I was looking at what was left or what was still there. So always make sure you go back and read those words aloud. I always like to read them out loud so it helps me understand and maybe talk to somebody else about them. Okay, let's move on. Here's another problem. Morgan ran 2/3 of a mile. Alexa ran 1/3 of a mile. Here's a strategy, same denominator strategy. When the denominators are the same, you can compare the numerators. You can compare the number of pieces. So we've got 2/3 and 1/3. Which one of those is going to be bigger? Well, I know that 2 is bigger than 1. So 2/3 is going to be greater than or bigger than 1/3. Now I need to see who ran 2/3 of a mile. Morgan. And because my words are usually hard to read when I write them with this tool, I'm just going to write M in there. Okay. So far we've had the same denominator strategy and missing pieces strategy, looking at what's left. But this missing pieces, I think, can get a little confusing. If it makes sense to you, please use it. But if it doesn't, don't. Okay. Mrs. Davis is making a fruit salad with 3/4 of a pound of cherries and 3/8 of a pound of strawberries. Which weighs less, the cherries or the strawberries? So here we're looking for the least. We want the smaller one. So we're comparing 3/4 and 3/8. Now here's our next strategy, same numerator. When the numerators are the same, look at the denominators to compare the size of the pieces. I've got eighths and I've got fourths. So think about sharing a pizza with 8 people and sharing a pizza with 4 people. What pieces are going to be bigger? The fourths are going to be bigger. Okay. I can even check it by, let me turn that volume down a little bit. 3/4. Oops. And 3/8. Those are my numbers, right? Because fourths are going to be bigger, 3/4 are always going to be bigger than 3/8. Okay. Let me scroll this down a bit. 3/4. Writing the wrong one. 3/8. And I had to change it to that because I checked out my sign. That's supposed to be the smaller one. It's greater than 3/4. 3/8. Sorry, I read that wrong. 3/8 is less than 3/4 because the eighths are smaller than the fourths. And what weighs less, the cherries or the strawberries? I hate that I can't get it all in one screen. So I have to see which one is the 3/8. 3/8 is strawberries. Just going to put in S. Okay. There we go. All right. I like to keep these to about 10 minutes and I'm on 8. So basically, this lesson, what number was it? 9.4? 9.4 is using multiple strategies to compare fractions. You can use a denominator strategy, the ones I like the best. There's that missing pieces strategy. Not my favorite. I think it's confusing when you use those circles, but you can use it if you want to. Denominator strategy. Look at the size of the denominator. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece. The smaller the denominator, the bigger the piece. So then you can just look at the numerators once you figure out which denominator is the biggest. Also, if you have the same denominator, you could just compare the numerators. Okay. I would always check both strategies with fraction strips just to make sure that you're not thinking one thing because you have to picture all this and it's something else. So always, always, always use your fraction strips to check if you're starting to do this without them. If you're not, go to fraction strips every time. They work every single time. Okay. And they're a very good visual. Here, the rest of this lesson is the share and show. You're comparing more fractions. These you'll work on. Let me do one of them with you. Name a fraction that's less than or greater than the given fraction. Draw to justify your answer. So we want a fraction that is less than 5/6. Well, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to keep it sixths. Any fraction with a denominator of 6, and if I want it less than 5, it could be 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6. Okay? I'm going to pick 2/6. And they want me to draw to justify that. Now, my drawing's going to be bad because I can't do straight lines really with this. But I would draw 2 fraction strips. I would break them into sixths. I would color in 5/6, and then I'd color in 2. Okay? You could do circles, but circles are less precise and they get tougher. All right, guys. So hopefully, this lesson, you're just putting together what we've done in the last few, using different strategies to compare fractions. Use whatever works best for your brain. Okay, guys? I'll see you next time. Bye.